What's up, guys? It's your boy Wimpy back with another podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about turning big rocks into little rocks. The art of turning big rocks into little rocks. Because there's a right way to do it, there's a wrong way to do it. All right? So, most people, or those who enjoy making big rocks into little rocks, they go about it the wrong way. All right, so first you got to be bestowed the honor of breaking big rocks into little rocks. And the wrong way of doing that is killing somebody and whatever, committing terrible crimes against humanity. That's terrible way. All right, not the right place, not the right time. Okay, and I guess you could just go out in your backyard in the evening and start breaking up big rocks and making them into little rocks, but it's kind of uncalled for. First you have to be elected to do such an honor. All right, so the right way to do it is to speak the truth. Okay, and if you do it good enough, you'll piss off just the right people, and they will bestow you with the honor of making big rocks into little rocks, okay? And it could be anywhere, all right? It could be in any local facility here in the United States or elsewhere, If you're really good at it, you might end up in some black site, okay? Maybe Guantanamo Bay, who knows? And, of course, for the right reasons, okay? For speaking the truth, nothing else. No hurting people, okay? Because that's bad. It's very bad. But, there's those who go above and beyond, all right? And we have to sit back and just give a round of applause. Because they spoke the truth so well that they didn't even have to break big rocks into little rocks. Instead, they got a bullet to the head, or crucified, or sawed in half, whatever. But those are the star athletes, okay? So, hopefully I will be bestowed that honor here soon, all right? If this podcast actually goes well, if I actually speak the truth to very well, and I piss off just the right people, maybe one day I will get to make big rocks into little rocks, okay? So now let's get into it, all right? Let's make this dream a reality. So for those of us living here in the United States, it doesn't take much to just look around and realize that something ain't right, all right? Something ain't right, okay? Something's going on here. The standard of living, straight down the shitter, okay? The chances of you owning a home are kind of dwindling down, all right, which is kind of that's what used to make America so great. You could come here and you could live your dreams, You could buy a house and you could raise your family and you could be free, all right? Because there's no freedom in poverty, all right? You can't really say what you want to say if you're too busy working for minimum wage and can't hardly pay rent, So the proof of this is the 50-year loan, the mortgage, 50-year mortgage. Maybe if you make it past retirement, surely by the time I get to my retirement age, it'll probably be around 79, 80 before I get to retire. But, that's why the 50-year mortgage is so great, okay? Because by the time I get there, raising the retirement age is just going to allow me more time to pay off that loan, all right? So maybe if I buy a house, get a loan when I'm 30 years old, which should be about the right age, I'll finish paying it by the time I retire at 80, That's great, all right? Or maybe maybe I'll just help BlackRock out or Vanguard and just rent for the rest of my life, I think that's really the meaning to life, just consume and rent, don't own anything. God, no, you don't want to own anything, all right? You don't want to provide for your family, no. Just want to consume and slowly die, all right? That's the meaning to life. So, yeah, things aren't really great, all right? And this is a product of corporations, because they're designed for a profit, and that's understandable. And to make more profits, you're going to have to pay your workers less and charge more for your product. And if people don't want to buy your product, well, conduct psychological operations to convince them that they need your product, okay? And if your product causes defects and causes harmful effects to your customers, that's fine, all right? Just pay off the regulating agencies. It's fine. And when they're retired, they'll come work for you, all right? That's great, This is the American dream here, guys. This is it, all right? You might not be able to own a home. You might not even be able to start a family, okay? Because it's too expensive now. We can't be having that. But, you know what you can do? You can go to Ingles and buy the latest flavor of Coca-Cola. They got a new one every year, dude. This is great. This is fucking awesome. So it's all good here. All right. And the government might lie to us. All right. The government might break its own laws. It might torture people. And, the only person getting in trouble for it is the people or the person that blew the lid on it, And we'll give promotions to those who supported and created the CIA torture program, but that's fine, all right? Even though there's a law that strictly prohibits torture, that's fine, all right? The government can do what it wants. It's great, because there's a new season of Landman on Paramount. Paramount Plus, dude. Why would you want anything else? Come on, all right? And, see, like one of our good buddies who spoke the truth and died for it, JFK, God rest his soul. Well, something wasn't right with his death, all right? We can know for a fact that there was more than one gunman, all right? From forensics, from the video, okay? From the fact that it's impossible to shoot that many rounds in that amount of time from one rifle. So by that definition alone, if it was more than one gunman, then it had to be a conspiracy, okay? And if the government covered it up, actively worked to hide evidence and push out the idea that it was a lone gunman, well, why would the government do such a thing? All right? I don't know. So somebody conspired to kill him, and the government covered it up. What does that say? I don't know. I guess that's one of the things we'll never know. All right? And, JFK will join the long line of people who died preaching about peace and trying to make a better world for his citizens, Yeah, and those that just want to make a better world for their friends and the corporations and, those rich fuckers on their yachts, they'll get promotions and, they'll get to live a nice long life. But not for me and you. Not for me and you. We gotta obey the law, all right? Because it's the law. Our government said so, okay? They can break the rules. It's fine. Completely fine, all right? And, life might be getting shittier, but hey, we got a new flavor of Doritos in Ingles, all right? It's great. It's all good, all right? And you might be working a job you hate, all right? And you don't have no choice because you have to pay for rent and everything, but hey, there's a new flavor of Doritos. It's going to be delicious. You can eat those while you watch a new season of Landman. Think about how badly you're getting fucked. It's great. Great. So yeah, things seem to be getting worse, all right? And we don't really know who's behind all this, all right? Is it one group of people? Is it just a collective effort? Is it just a product of how our societies ran? Who's responsible for this? And it's really hard to tell because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so much bullshit that you can't really tell, all right? So, I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to put the responsibility on the people that run this country, okay? The people that we've elected to make our lives better and to keep us safe. Well, obviously they're failing at their job. They fucking suck at it, okay? Because things continue to get worse, all right? And, we got the greatest military in the world, no doubt, because we spend a lot of money on it. But to defeat the Soviets in the Cold War, we got them to go into Afghanistan, so they'd bankrupt themselves fighting a unwinnable war in Afghanistan. And we got them to spend so much money on the space race that eventually they went broke. Okay, we won. Now it seems like it's been pulled on us. Now we're spending so much money that we're going to go broke. And it's not going to be pretty because we are the world's reserve currency. Everything's going to fall apart, and it's going to be great because we got Doritos. Yeah, so future looks bright, looks great, okay? And people that we elected are responsible for it because, they take responsibility when they swear that oath, all right? And if they're failing at their jobs, well, I don't know. Just give them a slap on the wrist. It was somebody else's fault. It was the immigrants. It's the poor people. The reason that this country is falling apart is because of poor people and the immigrants. Not because of the banks, who caused the 2008 financial crisis or the Great Depression. It's great. We need a Federal Reserve. It keeps everything running. Keeps Wall Street getting richer. All right, and that's what we want. We want Wall Street to be getting richer. And if you want to get rich, you need to gamble on the stock market. You need to buy crypto, all right? That's the new meaning of life, guys. You got to buy stocks and invest in crypto, all right? Go buy some Bitcoin. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. I love the world that we made. And I really have to thank my parents for this, and their parents, and their parents' parents, all the way back to Adam and Eve. I feel like it's just been a progressive downhill from there, I think it's probably a result of bad parenting and teaching our kids the wrong values, something like that. But we got robots now, and we got AI, so everything's going to be fine. Everything's great, guys. Everything's great. Yeah. So we might be going bankrupt, and, it may or may not be because of our elected officials or whoever pays them, like the corporations that spend billions of dollars every year to get legislators to pass certain laws. But we have certain people in there that's doing the right thing, like Thomas Massie, who pushed forward the Epstein bill. And, we have bestowed him the honor of getting primaried out of his own party, because I guess the Republicans don't really want the Epstein list to come out. I don't know, it might have something to do with their friends, and that's understandable. I get it. So after months of trying to get the Epstein bill through, he finally got through, and now he's getting primaried out. They're going to run somebody else in his place. That's great, all right? And Marjorie Taylor Greene had to step down, So it's all good. It's all good. We don't need the Epstein files. And, I know it was wrote into law that they had to release them all by December 19th. And I know the law said that they couldn't redact any names except those of the victims. But they did it anyways. And that's fine because they're the government and they can do whatever they want. All right? This is America, the land of the free and the home of the brave. All right? Where everything's free and fair. Where nobody's above the law. Nobody. Except the government, of course. The government's above the law. But it's all great. It's all good. Okay? So, in times like these, things might be going downhill. All right? The middle class might not exist anymore. The government lies to us just about every day. And, I don't think the Epstein list is ever going to make it to the light of day. Or, well, all the Epstein list. And, our economy might collapse and China might win because they just waited us out and tried to bankrupt us. But we got AI now, all right? AI therapy, all right? You might be going through a hard time, all right? Just go on ChatGPT and tell it to, be your therapist, all right? Go eat some Doritos, watch some Landman. It's all going to be all right, okay? So, yeah, and you might ask me, Wimpy, what can I do about it? Well, I'd just say, just stop being lazy. Do your research. I know you'll never really find the truth, but you can understand that things aren't right here, all right? And you might not really know who's behind all this mischief. Okay? It might be the banks, it might be the investors, might be BlackRock, might be a country or two, you know. But the people that are really responsible for it are the people we elected to be responsible for this. And if they are either deliberately fucking our country up or they're just so stupid that they can't fix it, I don't know, maybe we just gotta elect somebody else. And it doesn't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. All right, just somebody that's willing to speak the truth, all right, and do what's right, has values, all right. Maybe somebody like Thomas Massey, okay. Maybe somebody like RFK Jr. Maybe. But yeah, and for you, like I've said in the previous podcasts, you know, gotta control what you can control, and that's yourself, your thoughts. All right, read, you know, educate yourself. All right, try to be a better person. Okay, don't deal wrong. Don't return evil with evil. Okay, be like Martin Luther King, who's Martin Luther King Jr., who had his day the other day. Okay, this week, and he's a very remarkable man, you know. He went through a lot of persecution. Eventually, he was rewarded with a bullet in his head for what happened or what he done, you know, just speaking the truth and being peaceful, doing peaceful protests. All right, and even when there was rocks being thrown through his house and all sorts of persecution, being thrown in jail, he didn't resort to violence. Just kept speaking the truth and doing the right thing, being a good person. All right. That's what we got to do. Okay. And, yeah. I want to end this off. Before I started recording this video, did that thing where I flipped through the Bible and try to find some wisdom. You know, something that I might need. Okay, just see where it lands. First, it landed in Proverbs. And first thing that stuck out to me was to watch what comes out of your mouth. Okay? Be careful. And then I flipped through it again, and it went through to Matthew's, or the Gospel of Matthew. In the beginning, where it was talking about how King Herod sought to kill all the kids in the land to kill Jesus. Okay? And I feel the symbolic nature of this story, the symbolism. You know, this wasn't the first time. When Moses came, same thing. They sought to kill all the babies in the region. I feel like something similar is happening now. It seems like our generation is being targeted, okay? Psychologically, through social media, algorithms, you know, psychological operations from foreign governments, corporations, this and that. Those who want to control the information you get so that you do certain things, okay? They might want to radicalize you. They might want to divide the country, divide and conquer. They might just want to demoralize us, all right? Like what Yuri Bezmenov was saying, all right, when he defected to the U.S. and said that ideological subversion was the highest form of warfare, tearing a nation apart from within. And I believe that that's been going on. But just got to see it, all right? The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing the world he didn't exist. That comes from the movie The Usual Suspects. And the devil might be a personification of evil, okay? But the message is you need to first acknowledge that evil is real. Evil is out there, okay? If you don't believe in evil, it's just going to run rampant, all right? You can't stop something that you can't see, all right? You have to understand this, okay? But something is trying to harm our generation through the food we eat. All our food is just pumped full of all sorts of stuff. You know, they've sprayed gallons of pesticide on our crops, all right? Same company, Monsanto, or Monsanto, whatever, that created Agent Orange that caused a lot of cancer to people and, arguably goes against the Geneva Convention, but it's not a biological agent or a biochemical agent because it's a herbicide, all right? Even though we're spraying it on civilians and stuff, but that's okay. It's okay. We can do what we want, all right? It's all for national security. And yeah, they might be poisoning us through our food, not only with the pesticides, but all the junk that they grew in labs and whatnot, put it in there that might give you cancer and might make you stupid or whatever. They might put fluoride in your water and, might make you stupid. I actually wrote a paper in college about how fluoride lowers IQ. I read a meta-analysis that went over a bunch of different studies, and yeah, the conclusion was that fluoride does lower IQ, all right? But it said that a certain percentage of fluoride in the water would lower IQ, but I mean, micro-poisoning's a thing, so if you brush your teeth every day, it's going to add up. Brush your teeth with fluoride. All we know is that there is a correlation there, all right, or a causation. Fluoride does lower your IQ if you drink it in your water, and then you can infer by that if you brush your teeth enough times with fluoride that, yeah, it will lower your IQ too. So yeah, they're making us dumber. They're trying to kill us with all these different chemicals in our food and control our minds with all this different information that we get online. You don't know what's real anymore. And it's all designed to divide us, all right? That way we don't come together. It's a similar story with Jesus' birth and Moses' birth. It's like the powers that be don't want this generation to do what it came here to do, to fix what our parents passed down to us and what their parents passed down to us. It's time to end the cycle, guys. All right? I'm kind of tired of it, man. I'm tired of all this hate. I'm tired of all these power grabs and this insatiable desire for money and wealth and power and control over people. I'm tired of it. So yeah, stay informed, all right? Try to keep your head up. Look for the good things in life, right? But that is the art of turning big rocks into little rocks. Be good.